Hey guys, this is a random vlog. I haven't done one in a while, but I was just moved to talk today because just wanted to share my experience for this past couple of weeks period, just emotionally and new things that I've discovered spiritually and all of that good stuff. So these past couple of weeks, it just seems like it's been a purge of emotions and a lot of just confrontation with oneself, at least with me and a lot of people around me, a lot of people that I know. There's just like a lot of old stuff just coming to surface and really affecting us, or me. I speak for myself, really affecting me. I would say what triggered my purge was this past Mother's Day weekend. It's usually hard for me for Mother's Day because my mom passed away. Next month will be 10 years. It seemed like it happened like just last year or something. It always seems so recent. And, you know, I've been okay for these past few Mother's Days. But for some reason, this Mother's Day was a hard one. I really wanted my mommy. It was like that. Like, I just wanted my mommy. I wanted to be a daughter to someone. I wanted to just crawl in a bed with her in fetal position and cuddle and tell her about my day and my life and my dreams and just talk to her. Like, I was really, really missing her. And I just broke down. I just started crying and it was uncontrollable. I like those kinds of cries though, because afterwards I just kind of felt like it was a cleansing of my soul. Like, those tears really cleansed my soul. It really helped me feel better. And it got just a lot of stuff out. Like, I just wanted to be a little girl who wanted her mommy so bad just in that moment. And my loved ones around me, everyone just allowed me to be in that moment. And I really needed that moment. So the day after that, Sunday, Mother's Day, I went to church and I just prayed. I just wanted to heal. And for some reason, I just felt really broken and I felt incomplete because other than my children, I don't really have like family. I don't have a mother, a father, a grandmother, a grandfather, cousins and uncles and aunts. Like, I don't have that on my side. So I've learned how to just go through life without family. And of course, you know, you have your significant other, you have your kids and their other sides of families and all of that. You have your friends, but there's just something about your own like family that really it's embedded in you for that need for that connection. And, you know, I just kind of felt off a bit. And realizing that I was quote unquote alone, it was just a feeling that I had. I know I'm not alone, but I felt that way this weekend. And I just wanted to kind of shake that off. I just wanted to surrender and give it all away, take it off my shoulders and give it to God. I didn't want it anymore. So the next day, I started meditating because I started meditating a lot. I actually started taking yoga as well, and it's really been helping me. And I am into that opening of the chakras and all of that. I am into it. Some of you may not be. We can agree to disagree on that. It's all good, but I love it. So that following day, I decided to meditate. And I've never really went into a deep meditation. And every time I felt myself really going into it, I'll just get scared and I'll come right back and just pop out of my meditation just when it was getting good. This time around, I didn't do that. I let myself go. And this experience was out of this world, literally. I was out of my mind and out of this world. I was not of this world, of this dimension. I was somewhere else. And I was observing myself. And I was put in a place of like an all-knowing place. In this state, I had a voice of a guide, and it felt like, you know, it was all telepathic, so it felt like it was my voice. It felt like it was like my higher self talking to my lower self. It was a conversation with me. Something like this actually happened to me before when my mom first passed away. I was scared to stay in the house. I was just afraid of everything. I didn't want to sleep alone, didn't want to sleep in the dark. So it was bad. And my mom came to me after she passed. She came to me, and she literally, like handing someone a gift, she handed me her feeling. She handed me what it feels like to be on the other side, to be where she is, to be home. She handed that to me. It's like she channeled it into me. I felt it, and it was the most peaceful feeling I've ever felt, and I cannot even describe what it feels like in words. I guess it's almost that sensation that people with near-death experiences have. I felt the peace. I saw like colors that I've never seen before. I just felt everything, and everything was connected, and everything was all one. It was amazing, and there was no fear. No fear lived in this space. No ego lived here. No doubt. Nothing. It was just pure bliss, peacefulness, and all-knowingness. That's what it was. And she took it back from me. After I was feeling it, it's like I bathed in it. She took it back from me, and she said, "This is where I am. You don't have to worry about me, and there's nothing for you to be afraid of." And she disappeared. This happened in a lucid dream state. So I wasn't fully awake, but the experience was very, very real. Very real. So when I woke up from that state, I tried to be afraid again, and I couldn't. I couldn't even put myself in that place to really be scared of going back home. I wanted to go back home. I was fine. That interaction that I had with my mom's spirit was divine. It was amazing, and I wanted to feel that again. So there was no way that I was afraid of my mom coming to visit me or anything like that. So she actually, giving me that peace for that moment actually healed the fear, like directly. It was medication to my fear. So fast forward to what happened to me as I was meditating. It felt like that again. It felt like I was given a moment of all-knowingness. It felt the same way, but this time it was more detailed because I was aware. I was intentionally trying to, you know, heal and find answers. So I was just a bit more self-aware this time around than I was when my mom passed away. I wasn't even like spiritual anything when my mom passed. And it took her passing to really get me into being spiritual. So I was awake. I was awake. And it was a little scary because it felt like I was in a rabbit hole. And this is what it was. The voice, my higher self, was telling me that this is an important time for me to pull out my computer and start writing exactly what I'm feeling, because I'm so high right now. I'm vibrating so high that I'll end up forgetting this. And at this point of vibration, I have to record what I'm feeling. So I pulled out my computer, I pulled up the notes, and I just started writing. And it was in all caps. And I started writing whatever came to me, and I was typing so fast because my higher self was saying so much to me. And it was so profound because my higher self was guiding me through each feeling. And the thing about my feeling was that the first thing that I've noticed, and the first epiphany that I had in this state, was living in the moment, how it truly feels to live in the moment. Time does not exist in that realm. It doesn't exist. So it was so interesting because you're still dealing with third dimensional stuff. So every single second I felt every second, and every second had its own experience. And it was like I was slowed down and I was connecting every single second and experience to complete my whole picture and my whole experience. Yet each second in itself was already whole. Whatever that means, if you can really understand. And it's so funny because you see all these quotes and you read all these books about living in the moment. You must be present. You know, you're not really living unless you are living in the moment. Here is now. Life is now. You hear it all over the place, and it's cool. It's cool. But I knew this because of books that I've read and philosophies that I've learned to adapt to. But I never felt what it truly felt like to really live in the moment. It was so far away from what I thought living in the moment truly was. What I had experienced was so far away from my philosophy on living in the moment. So this was so beautiful to me because literally no previous second existed. Once I moved on to the next second, the last second disappeared. And there was no second ahead of that second until it came, until it was its time. I'm really trying to really describe the feeling to you guys. So if I sound like, woo, stick with me here though. So what that really means is the past didn't exist and the future didn't exist. Nothing else existed outside of that second. And I was forced to live that way in this state. I was forced to be in every moment. I couldn't even look back if I wanted to, and I couldn't look ahead if I wanted to. And that was a scary feeling because most of the time we're living either in the past or in the future. We're rarely here. So to be here, that shit feels amazing. It feels amazing. And you smell things, you hear things, you see things clear, and you're just truly, it slows down time. It really does. Hold on for a second. I'm going to get my computer because I need to read some of the stuff that I wrote. Okay, hold on for a second. So I'll read some of the things that I wrote. Well, that I interpreted from my experience. And it says, right now I am being taught an amazing and beautiful lesson. I am being taught how to live in the moment. I have the real feeling and I am experiencing something very spiritual. Every sentence and every second, every letter I'm typing has a different vibration and feeling connected to each moment. It's scary because it's actually too revealing. My higher self also said, you are in a place of all-knowingness. If there's any question that you have or something that you need clarity on, ask it. My lower self kind of came in and interrupted, and I was just like, I just want to learn about what's happening right now. I don't have any questions. I was actually afraid to ask. And I felt the fear. The fear, I really knew the difference between fear, anything false, and what was truly happening. And every time I started feeling fearful of being free, because that's really what this moment was, it was pure freedom, my guide would tell me to breathe, take a deep breath, focus on the breath, and it brings you right back to zero. So anytime I felt fear, I understood the importance of focusing on your breath. What I also learned in this state was how the subconscious works. The subconscious only relies on consistent messages in order for any experience to make sense. I see that it is needed. The subconscious looks for familiar words or experiences to validate an experience. How we choose to feel in each experience is up to us. All it lives and thrives off of is consistency. Anything redundant, whether it's words that you're telling yourself, whether you hear a certain type of music all the time, Any kind of message, mantra, environmental repetitiveness, it feeds your subconscious. So your subconscious puts things together as its reality, and it's up to you on how you act on that or how you feel about that. And sometimes you have these underlining feelings about things, but you're not sure why, and it has to be coming from something that's happening, something that's on repeat in your life. So it's very important to really focus on, or really try to become aware of, that repetitive language that you're using, most importantly for yourself. In this state of being, nothing mattered, judgments didn't matter, other people's opinions didn't matter, just nothing else mattered but right now. And it's something so simple and something that we really take for granted. When I came back to myself, I still felt this high that I was feeling, and it changed me. It changed everything about me. Any type of fear, doubt, shame, guilt, negativity, anything that would bring me down and that doesn't feed my higher self, anything, it literally disappeared. Because before this happened, I was in a very sad and dark space, all on my own, because I was just in grief. I was in just grief, and I felt like my heart was aching. And that was taken away because I even tried to channel myself into being fearful, into being doubtful, into being negative. Like I wanted to go to those places on purpose, just to see if I was able to just attach myself to these negative emotions, or emotions period, because nothing's really negative. It's just your experience. Tapped into these emotions, and I couldn't do it. I could not feel doubt. I could not feel fear. And I was like, word, I was like, this is what it feels like to have your ego in check. You know, because it's really that ego that's protecting you. You know, the ego is a false sense of protection against the world and others, and you know, it tells you that you shouldn't do certain things, or you shouldn't say certain things, or that's too risky, that's too dangerous, this is not how you want to really feel, that's too scary, that's too free. So that's what ego does. And I was just like, this feels so good. I started feeling everything. It's so easy to worry. It's so easy. That's the easy way out. And we form these worrying habits, and we worry about things that haven't even happened yet. And it's funny because it doesn't matter when these things happen. It can literally be happening to us in the moment, or it can be something that can possibly happen, but the thought still makes it real. And when you live there in your thoughts, your body reacts to that experience as if it's happening right now. So most of the time when we're feeling blah, when we're not feeling so good, it's because we are triggering sensors in our brains and tricking our brains into thinking that we are experiencing something that's not even happening. And all you have to do to escape from that is focus, breathe, and remember that you are here. And that really takes practice. It really takes practice to, I'm here. I was worried about what's happening at the job and da-da-da-da, or I'm worried about what these people, they're going to think of me, or I'm going to blah, 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 blah. All the chatter, all of that chatter disappears in that moment when you are centered. And then when I went outside, that was another challenge because, you know, I experienced this in the house and in my environment and with my loved ones, but outside, it's a cold, cold world. So how you perceive being around others and being in circumstances that are out of your control, that's also important. And I took these same feelings and lessons with me outside, in Penn Station, in the subway, in the, you know, just out there. What I'm learning is that I'm appreciating that everything, there's a time and place for everything, literally. And that time and place is always now. It's nothing else. It's nowhere else. It's not about being irresponsible and not planning ahead, because in order to plan ahead, you have to think ahead, right? Or in order to learn certain things about yourself, you have to go back into the past and kind of dig things up. But that's cool when you're working on getting to a better self right now. That's a different exercise. If you're setting goals and you're making plans for the future, when you visit these places in your head, it's happening to you. How do you feel? If you feel good, then this is something that is benefiting you right now, in this moment. If you feel bad and you start worrying or becoming fearful or doubtful, leave. You don't have to live there. You don't have to be there. No one's forcing you to be in this place that you created in your head. And when it comes to memories of the past and certain things that has happened to us or certain people that we've been connected to, again, if it's not for your growth, if you don't feel that growth, that sense of growth and that emotion that's pushing you forward, then there's no need to visit that place, because guess what? That place does not exist. You don't have to be there. And I think we forget to remind ourselves that we don't have to be where we are. Our only responsibility really is to be here, right now, where we are, in living in every second. Just how I was on a whole other level, on like the 6th dimension level, living in every second. It literally felt like I was, you know how the old school cartoons were made with paper and every single movement had to be drawn on every single piece of paper. And in order for that cartoon to move forward, you had to flip the papers so that every movement was connected to the last. That's exactly how I felt. I felt like I was going through all of the movements in each second, because time, it was so dense. I was in 3rd dimension and I was vibrating on 6th. So where do I go from here? I'm just living, and I'm cool, and I'm really feeling my blessings. I'm feeling happy, like truly happy. I'm really slowing down time on purpose, because the only way time really doesn't exist. So the only way to truly control time is through your experiences, and you choose how long you want to be there, how long you want to stay there. There's a reason why when you're having fun, time flies, and when you're like, ugh, I want to get out of here, time is long, it seems longer. It's all about what you perceive time as. Time in itself is not real. Time is only what you perceive it to be. And those feelings, when I say feelings and experience, it doesn't always have to be flowers and lilies and happy and joy and this and that. I am more conscious of my feelings anyway, and I always want to come from a place of love. With some people, it's hard. I get it. There's some crazy people out there. But you always want to come from a place of love and understanding. And just know that it has nothing to do with you. It's not your problem. It doesn't matter how anyone else experiences you. The only thing that truly matters is how you experience yourself. Because when you're experiencing yourself the way that you truly want to experience yourself, you find that everyone else reflects that. There's a direct reflection on how other people treat you. And certain people, they just kind of fall away because you've chosen to experience yourself in a different light. All of this is practice, man, because it's so easy to get so hung up on what other people think of you and what they expect from you and how people are looking at you, and then you become self-conscious about things about your life, things about the way that you look. Anything, you start to become self-conscious and you say, well, maybe I'm not good enough. And then you tell all these lies to yourself. There's validation that comes from nothing. There's no foundation. The repeated experience is what you truly see as real. Oh, that always happens to me. I'll never get that. That never happens. Oh, that always happens to you, not me. That word always is very important, because we've already created our story that we keep telling ourselves over and over again. And the only way to change that is to tell a new story. literally tell yourself a new story. And if you tell it enough times and then you add some belief or excitement in that storytelling to yourself and your subconscious, it starts to pick it up as fact. And your life reflects exactly what that is. This is something that is worthwhile for me to practice. To me, it's the same thing that comes with religions. And this is not to get into a religious debate, but if you haven't realized that people all over the world, everyone does not have the same religion or the same beliefs. People all over the world, they believe in something different from the next. And it's a cultural thing as well. Tradition, all of that comes into play when it comes to belief. The powerful thing, and I think the thing that most people miss about belief, is that it literally is your truth, like yours. Nobody else's, really. It's nobody else's truth but yours. And that's amazing that you can have your own truth and walk in it with confidence. If you are doing everything that you should to elevate yourself, and your beliefs reflect that, and your beliefs are helping to elevate you and who you are, then live in that truth. I don't care who or what you believe in or lack of belief. It doesn't matter to me. I have no right to take my truth, which lives in here, and bring it to you. I can inspire you through my actions, and maybe you would want to inquire about how I'm living my life or what I believe in or certain philosophies. But we inspire as we live with action. But we never should plug our truths into other people's truths, because it doesn't exist. It really doesn't exist. Are you happy? Are you thankful? Are you feeling good about what you believe in? Is it helping you for the better? Then by all means, stay in that truth, because that is your path, that is your experience, and that is your journey. We're not talking about extreme circumstances. There are extreme things happening out there in this world. So with everything happening in this world, just know that you can get a sense of peace. You have a right to that sense of peace to yourself, and you can create that. And you can spread that peace on a higher scale if you choose to, if you're moved to do that. Talking about your experience helps. Inspiring others through what you do. Also, I want to say this before I go, because I know I've been all over the place, okay? Journaling is very, very important. I realized that I don't like physically writing. I have a beautiful journal. I've written in journals before, but I don't like physically writing because my thoughts and feelings come out way too fast for my hand and pen. So what I do is I'll use my paper, my journal, for whether it's a to-do, goals, questions, Q&A for myself, asking myself the hard questions, the good ones for my growth. But with my actual free thinking and free flowing journal, what I do is I create an email for myself. It's my journal email. And I just type. I type. It doesn't matter if there's a typo, if there's a mistake. It doesn't matter. I just free write. And what I do when I'm finished, until I feel satisfied with everything that I've let out, I email it to my journal so that I have a digital journal, because it's so much easier to just type it out than write it out for me. So find out what works for you. You can do voice memo. That's also easy if you don't like writing or typing, but you want to monitor your feelings and your thoughts day to day or week for week. Voice memo works as well. I used to do that, and I remember on my old phone, I would go through my voice memos, and I was just like, whoa, because you really hear like your voice and the difference, and you feel the feeling. So that's also a good way. But I just wanted to say that, and I just wanted to share this experience and get it out, okay? I wanted to get it out no matter how crazy or whatever it sounds. just wanted to get it out. All right, so I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you very, very soon with more of these types of videos because I'm inspired again. I feel like I'm rejuvenated and reborn. Seriously though. So anyway, I'll see you guys soon, and thanks for watching.